Hi guys, welcome down to Taylormade Golf Academy, and today I'm going to be testing the brand new Taylormade M5 Tour driver. So a smaller, more compact head, still got the adjustable weights, able to move them from front to back to allegedly change spin and change forgiveness and launch conditions. I've got the 9-degree head. I'm going to hit some shots with the weights forward, weights at the back, and see if the weights being moved around actually does change the performance of the driver. So guys, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button, ringing the notification bell. But for now, let's get on with the video. Right then guys, so the setup for the M5 Tour is going to be 9 degrees, standard loft. First half dozen shots, we're going to have both weights up near the face. I'm going to use the same shaft obviously for both. The hazardous smoke 6.5. Idea being with the weights forward, this is going to get that CG nice and close to the face, keep that spin off the ball, hopefully keep that trajectory nice and flat, get some run out. So half a dozen real balls on TrackMan, then I'm going to move the weights further back and spread them out. In theory to make it more forgiving, but we're going to see what difference, if any, moving the weights around in this head actually makes. So felt nice and solid. So again, we're on normalized mode to take the wind out of the equation. It's a bit left, but certainly for me, I've always liked the idea of kind of the more compact head that the Tour model offers. Once I actually get it behind the ball, I'm not sure that I don't actually prefer the full size version. But if this performs better, that'll definitely be what wins it for me. Felt very solid. Lovely flat trajectory. And we can see that one carrying 253, rolling out 287. So I'm going to look after I've hit the 6 shots at how the average stacks up against the optimizer. And then obviously we'll do the same again with the weight spread and see which of those 2 settings actually performs best for me, if there's any difference at all. That felt absolutely ripped. Nice and straight. 262, 291. So far, first few shots, quite like the way this feels. Getting a good flight out of the shot. That one's felt a little bit out of the toe. And that'll be interesting to see numbers wise. Okay, definitely the strike there, turning that over. But certainly distance wise not bad. But definitely with those weights up near the face there, the potential is those off-center strikes are really going to be punished a lot more. Last couple with weights forward. Again, felt good and solid. Definitely seeing less shape when I'm getting the ball obviously near the middle of the club face. That was long, that was a good one. Let's go one final one with weights forward. And this should be really, really low spinning. Good shaft for me, low spin shaft, weight forward, smaller head. Everything about this should be keeping the spin down. And I reckon that's about as good as I can hit that. Again, nice and straight. Okay, so that'll be interesting to see there. So I will pull the shots up, looking at shot by shot. But then let's also look at the average for weights forward for M5 Tour. Okay, so we can see the carry distances up the left hand side there. We've got anything from almost 252 up to 269, so not a huge spread in those. And if we look at the average there, we're saying spin loft's just a little bit higher with that driver. We're looking at ball speed being just fractionally back on where is optimal. Launch angle still being a touch higher than I would like. Backspin being very marginally down on where I would want, and height of shot very, very good. But all in all, so it's saying my average carry there for an optimal of 262 is 258, and my optimum total of 287 against 288 was pretty decent. And if we look at the grouping on the shots there, had that one toey one that was very left, but other than that, some pretty decent shots in there. Right then guys, so weights forward was definitely low spin, 2000 there, potentially just a little bit on the low side for me. So we're going to move the weights kind of to the back of the head, and we can see in the video there, the weights back, one in draw position, one in fade position. So this is moving the CG as far back as possible. Should get me to launch the ball a little bit higher, spin the ball a little bit more, and actually make the driver a little bit more forgiving on that off-centre strike. Right then guys, weights back. So obviously when I put the driver down behind the ball, it looks absolutely identical. Be interesting to see how this performs, if any differently to when the weights are forward. So again, felt a nice solid one, little bit left, but felt solid. Certainly didn't seem as good a ball flight as before. So that one just a little bit flat, but a solid start and some decent distance, if not quite as long as before. So that one's setting off pretty straight, definitely a bit higher off the face. Again, not far off distance-wise the previous one, but that second one nicely in play, even if it just ball flight is a little bit higher than I would wanted. Now that felt really solid. Definitely visually looks a little bit softer flight than before. But that's great at 260 and 287. Okay then, shot number 4. Now that one leaking a little bit to the right. Certainly wind's off the right, so that should straighten up a bit. Yeah, so a little bit to the right, that one. Again, 260, 280. So probably visually prefer the look of the flight with the weights forward. Okay. Again, felt solid. I think with the wind off the left there, I've just probably set that one off a little further left than I needed. Again, round about that 280. But let's go one final one with weights back. Certainly for me, prefer the feel when the weights are up near the face. Doesn't feel quite as solid with the weights at the back. Some of you guys might prefer that kind of feeling, or how it feels different. But ultimately I think it comes down to looks and feel are an important part, but it's ultimately down to performance. So last one, weights back. So again, struck that really well. Definitely that's just riding the wind a little bit. Normalised mode will straighten that up. And again, 255, 275. Now, even before we look at numbers there, didn't feel with the weights at the back I was able to influence the ball quite like I wanted. But let's look at some numbers of weights back and we'll see how weights forward and weights back compare. So interestingly there, we saw with the weights back, my spin loft was a little bit higher, my ball speed was down a little bit, kind of launched 14.6, backspin was still pretty low, and height of shot at 99. So not too bad, and it's actually saying there my optical 255 carry and 281 total. I was pretty much on the money for there. So if we look at the M5 Tour with weights back and weights forward, we can see club head speed almost identical, 105, 106. Ball speed very much up with weights forward at nearly 157, whereas it was back at 153. Launch lower with the weights forward. Average spin ultimately was around the same at 2000, and as a result we saw 4 yards extra carry with the weights forward at 258 and 6 yards total overall. So guys, we've seen from the numbers there, moving the weights around does make a difference. Not huge by any means, but enough of a difference that if you're looking to maximize your tee shots and get the best out of distance and accuracy, getting this driver, or whichever driver you're fitted for, fitted correctly and tuned in perfectly is going to give you your optimum in distance and accuracy. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like and share it. Comment below, I'll get back to as many of you as I can. If you've enjoyed the video, click the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. Let's make sure you get my content as soon as it drops. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, both under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.